It's that time again, it's time to grab our tools and fix what's broken. Let's save money and do it ourselves. Let's save money and do it ourselves.
Ready? Welcome to another Garage Time with Goody. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the dreaded P0300 error code, especially on these Pontiac 3800 engines. They can be a pain in the butt. But before you go digging into the EGR valve, the intake gasket seal, or some of the other more involved parts in the car, I'm going to show you something easy that you might want to check out first. We're going to be talking about the 2005 V6 3800 engine in a 2005 Pontiac Bonneville. These are in a lot of different cars. In fact, I will put a list in the video description and on some of the cars that have this exact same engine. If you're experiencing stalling problems when you reach around 40 miles per hour and you put your foot on the accelerator and the car has trouble registering the accelerator and it doesn't want to go any faster and the RPMs won't go up, or if you're having problems starting your car, those are some of the symptoms of this dreaded P0300 random misfire. And also it may spit and sputter as though it's misfiring. The engine could, kind of wobble a little bit. Those are the symptoms that we are experiencing with this car. Now about the P0300 check engine code. That means that there is a random misfire. And there are a ton of things that can cause a random misfire. It can be the EGR valve, it can be the battery, it can be the fuel injectors, it can be clogged catalytic converters, it can be quite a few different things. It can be that the battery that you have is not putting out enough voltage. It can be the fuel pump is too weak and you might need to check your fuel pressure. You might even need to check your engine pressure. But before you do all of that, do the simple thing first. And that is this right here, the 3800 engine. And this is a 2005 Pontiac Bonneville SEL version. And since this is a 6-cylinder engine, there will be 3 of these. And it has the firing order of the spark plugs. It will have the firing order of the spark plug wires right here. What these are ignition coils. That's what these round pieces are right here. They have a bolt on each side that is bolted down, and you're going to need a 7/32 socket to get to these on each side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to test these ignition coils to see if they are providing a spark from the spark plugs. And that is what's needed for the engine to run smooth and not give that misfire code. So I'm going to do it an old-fashioned way. But I will also put a link to a tool that you can use if you don't feel comfortable doing it the way I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. I'm going to start the car, and with a pair of needle nose pliers, I'm going to one by one pull these spark plug wires off of the ignition coil. If I see a spark coming out of the metal connector, then that means spark is coming out of the ignition coil. If I get to a spot where there is no spark, then of course that means there's a misfire because there is no spark. So I think you get the idea. We're going to start this car up now and see if each one of these are sparking. So I'm about ready to start the car up, but I wanted to explain this real quick. What I'm going to be doing once the car is started is I'm going to be taking a needle nose pliers and I'm going to be putting them here on the spark plugs, and I'm going to be pulling one off at a time to see if these ignition coils are providing a spark. And if it's not providing a spark, then that means that is where the misfire is coming from. Now, a safety tip, I will put in the video description a tool that you can use to do it a much safer way if this intimidates you, because if you do it my way, you're going to want to make sure you have on shoes with a rubber sole, and you're not going to want to touch metal on the body of the car, and you're just going to want to reach in with insulated needle nose pliers and just pull it off, and just pull the spark plug wire off easily. Look for the spark. If there is one, put it back on. A tester that you buy, you will do it a totally different way. But this is an easy way if you don't have a tester. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start the car now, and I'm going to test these ignition coils. I said that these needle nose pliers need to be insulated. So don't touch the metal part, remember. Just touch this insulated part right here. Go from top to bottom, and I'm going to pull a spark plug out. As you can see, I took this first spark plug wire off and it was getting spark. Forgot to mention that I put new spark plugs in and new wires. So as you saw that there was spark going to this ignition coil, it's not this top one. So we're going to go to the next one. We're going to check the second one. As you can see, that spark right there, it's sparking. Now we're going to test the one on the second ignition coil. And as you can see, looks like there's no spark there. So we got that with no spark. We're going to check the one right under it. Looks like there's no spark on that one either. We check the one right below it. As you can see, there is spark. We're going to check this one on the bottom. And as you can see, there's spark on that one. As I'm getting ready to remove this ignition coil, I have went to a junkyard, and for a cheap price, for $30, I was able to get all three of these ignition coils, and I even got the ignition control module, which is underneath. So we might not have to go as far as the ignition control module itself. Hopefully it's just an ignition coil. Well, I'm going to be taking the spark plug wires off of the ignition coil that's not working. But as you can see, so I don't get these spark plug wires mixed up, each one is labeled. This is number 6. This is number 3. You know, this is the firing order. Now you may have off-brand spark plug wires. And if you do, it's best to write 1, 4 with a marker. This is 5, 2, and you can label these so that you won't get them confused. But a lot of brands of spark plug wires have the numbers, the firing order written right on them. So this is the two that we needed to take off. Just wiggle it back and forth a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. There will be a bolt here, and then there'll be a bolt here. Now I'm going to be using a 7/32 socket. And this is what you want to try first. This is one of the easier things to try. And I'm going to be removing it. And And these bolts are going to be pretty long. Get these loosened up here. Once they're loosened up, I'm just going to take it off the ratchet, and I'm just going to move it by hand a little faster. I'm going to do the same over here. It's already loosened up. All right, I'm going to remove this bolt here. And see, it's going to just come out just like that. And this one is already loose. Pull that bolt up out of there. Now, visually inspecting this ignition coil, I don't see anything wrong with it, and a lot of times you won't. But underneath here, what this sets on, this is the ignition control module. It could be this, which I'm hoping it's not, but I do have one just in case. Here is the replacement part that I got out of the junkyard that I know that works. You just place it on here where these two prongs are. It's going to fit over that, and it fits right on there. And you get these started by hand, so that way you do not cross thread them. And I'm going to tighten this down to about 8 inch-pounds. Until it's snug, you don't want to over tighten it. Here's the number 5. Here's the number 2. What I do now is start the car again, and I'm going to pull these up and see if there's a spark under it. If there is, then the misfire problem was this ignition. We're going to check number 2, and you can see that it's sparking. You can see that it's sparking now. Let's check number 5. And you can see the spark over here. All of these are sparking now. I hope that this video helped you. If you're still having the same problems, then there are a plethora of other things that could be causing it. Like I said, this is the most simple thing to test. So if this video helped you at all, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I will see you later.